Today we're going to talk about homophobia. In the 1950s, I think there was a thing called homophobia. I think there are three parts of it. First, there's just a fear that your child, your boy child, or your husband would be a homosexual. And we know in the 50s at least that this is a psychological disease. Remember, this doesn't change until the late 60s or early 70s in the APA, the American Psychiatric listing of what is and what is not a mental illness. So there's that. Then there's also this worry that homosexuals prey upon children. And then and not just children, but young men, 14 to 18-year-old boys. And then I think the third worry is that if young men are homosexuals, they will find sexual satisfaction in that instead of getting married and settling down as people should. That the nuclear bourgeois family is the appropriate thing, and so homosexuality is a threat to that. Now, before you get all angry about this, I wanted to read to you from a book. I'm not going to let you see the book yet, okay? So here's what this book says, written in 1963. Homosexuals often lack the maturity to finish school and make sustained professional commitments. The shallow unreality, immaturity, promiscuity, last of lasting human satisfactions that characterize the homosexual's life usually characterize all his life and interests. This lack of personal commitment in work and education and life outside of sex is hauntingly feminine. And then down a bit, but the homosexuality that is spreading like a murky smog over the American scene. Now, who would be writing this, do you think? This is, of course, Betty Friedan's The Feminine Mystique, 1963 feminist Bible. This is the beginning of feminism. Not anyway. If you don't know who she is, go look her up. So, but what I want to explain to you is, in the 50s and 60s, everybody's thinking this. Now, fast forward to 2017. I would hope that most people don't believe this anymore. At least the pernicious parts of it. I presume all maybe this is not true in small America. I'm talking about someone from Houston, but I presume we all know someone who is gay, that we have a friend who's gay or a family member who's gay, and we realize that gay people live in relationships just like straight people, and I don't think anyone's particularly scared of them anymore. Now, that doesn't mean that not everyone... There are people who think that homosexuality is not God's will. I believe that's what most Muslims believe. I believe most Mormons believe this. I believe most evangelical Christians believe this. Southern Baptists. But I don't think that's homophobia. That's just a religious belief. To me, the attack on gay marriages seemed so... to me, it felt like closing the door after the horses had left the barn, right? I mean, seriously, do you think that somehow or another gay marriage is going to knock marriage down? Half of the marriages end in divorce, and the number of people not marrying, especially among the lower classes, is ridiculous. Marriage is... I think marriage is already gone. I don't think letting gay people get married is going to cause any more problems to marriage. But that some people don't believe in it. And I guess the question is, do you think that a person, a Muslim, let's make it a Muslim bakery would be forced to make cakes for a gay couple? Would you want that? That seems kind of wrong to me. So I think... I do think that Ogerbefell, the gay marriage Supreme Court case, was wrong. And it was wrong in the same way that Roe versus Wade was wrong. It takes out of the public sphere this question that probably still needed to be worked on. Roe v. Wade short-circuited the argument that we needed to have about abortion. We still have not finished this argument about homosexuality. I think some people are like, of course we have. You're just a bigot and a fool if you don't believe in homosexuality. And the answer is maybe Muslims are. I mean, that's certainly what Christopher Hitchens felt about Christians. H.L. Mencken, by the way, felt about Christians in the 1927 at the monkey trial. But I do feel like maybe a little more conversation would not be a bad idea. See, when you just call people names and you don't try to work with them, I don't see that as productive. So that's my take on homophobia. I don't think there's anything else to say.